Well, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, you guys. Bitcoin chilling at about 97.6K. It's gonna be a good day, you guys. It's gonna be a good week. We're gonna probably start the month off in February off really well, end the month here in January very well as well. We're gonna talk about all that. If that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. So here we are, looking at about a 97.6K Bitcoin, having an immaculate rip off of this fake out low here. Absolute definition of a fake out, man. It's picture perfect. It is literally picture perfect. If you look up fake out in the dictionary, this picture is the most updated version because, man, that is perfect, right? Quite literally. You found resistance at this line time and time again. You did break through it finally, and once you did, you ate it up and just had a perfect bounce, man. You keep growing. That's how we know that not only this is it a real low, but likely, guys, we're getting started with this next move, right? Because right now what's going on is people are in disbelief. Is this the low? Isn't this the low? Are we going lower? I don't know. And of course, you know, we could. You never know. It's a possibility. But with the price action we saw yesterday and the continuation we're getting today, it gives me a lot of faith that this is the low. I don't believe that we're going to go lower than that. I had my suspicions yesterday, but it's a different, with this kind of look right now, it's a little bit different. Let's look at the daily RSI, man. Looks bullish as hell. It looks like it's about to really start ripping, man. Whenever it breaks out of this downtrend, right, you've got lower highs and some lower lows. Well, now you've got higher lows. Once we get those higher highs coming in, I think it's going to be pretty good. Once we start living above this line, above the 60 line there, that'll be good. So looking at the weekly time frame, weekly RSI, bouncing in this area is not a bad thing. It's actually a really bullish thing, right? I've compared this, what we're doing here, a lot to what we're doing here, and I think it really is very comparable to that zone, right? Because if we look at this for Bitcoin, whenever we were in our RSI up here, we found support all the way down here. We found support all the way down here again, right? Went all the way up here. This time is a little bit less, whatever. But where you found support, basically at the same area again, okay? So when we were down here in Bitcoin, oh, can I get the actual, there we go. When we were down here in Bitcoin on the RSI, we were down at this low, okay, in this kind of grandiose consolidation phase, okay? When we were at this low in the RSI. We started expanding, got overbought. We saw our first move, our expansion phase, and then we consolidated for a little while. Then when we consolidated here, that's whenever in the RSI, we pulled back to the same areas that we're at now. We pulled back, and then we bounced out, and we continued growing upwards until our next kind of grandiose consolidation phase, right? You can see that. So big consolidation phase, this area of the RSI. Big area of consolidation, same area in the RSI, okay? Afterwards, when you broke out, similar areas in the RSI pulling back. I hope the dots are connecting, right? I really do expect, and the thing that I'm a little bit suspicious about, you guys, and quote me on this, okay? This part I think is very, I didn't realize that my face wasn't there the whole time, but this part is very, I don't want to call it valuable. It might be a really good call. Let's just say I think it's going to be a good call, okay? Because there are a lot of people right now who I've noticed who are comparing this. I feel like I started doing it yesterday, but a lot of people today started doing it as well. But who cares who is first, man? I'm probably not the first person to make the comparison here. But what I'm trying to say by that is the amount of people I saw that were making the same comparison that I feel so smart for making makes me scared a little bit, right? Whenever everybody notices the same thing and we're all expecting the same thing, normally that's not going to happen, right? I saw a lot of people saying, we're going to see this same kind of growth coming out of this. And I'm like, that's what I said. That's what I've been saying that. I agree. And then I'm like, wait a second. Anytime I hear that, it scares me. That kind of bird box stuff, it really scares me. So what my thoughts are is that it's not going to be the same move. It's not going to be the same move. I also don't think it's going to be a weaker move. So then it's going to be likely a stronger move is what my thoughts are and my suspicions are. And I want to get to a kind of really bullish kind of price prediction by the end of February. And I've hinted at it here and there, but this kind of idea of either exceeding people's expectations, right? If people are expecting you to do this, you're either going to fall short of those expectations or you're going to exceed them. I doubt with everybody expecting you to do this exact move, I doubt you do that exact move, right? So I doubt that we see a replication of this move going forward, which is what I've been basing my analysis off of over the past couple weeks a lot. And the reason why I'm changing it now is simply for the fact, again, there's nothing new technically. It's from a fundamental sentimental perspective, which is that I've noticed more people catching on to this. And when I notice that, normally that's whenever it's time to kind of rethink things. And the way that I would rethink things, again, I don't think that we're gonna see a smaller move. It's possible, But I think with all this bearishness right now that's going on, all this disbelief, I don't think we're going to see a smaller move. I think we would see a larger move. And the next area, the only next legible area for Bitcoin to go to, in my opinion, if we don't stop at 140K, is all the way up at 175K, 173K. If we take the all-time high from last cycle to the bear cycle low here, all-time high from last cycle to the bear cycle low there, at the 1618, the golden extension, that's 173.8. Okay, that is where the 3113 is. It's a deep extension, okay, and you don't normally see that kind of level being hit, especially right off the get-go. But we've consolidated here between the 1618 and the 200. It's a very bullish phase consolidation. Something like this almost always. I'm going to take away this other fib here, okay? Just the 1618 lining up with that 3113. Kind of significant there, right? Showing also that 128, once that breaks, really the next target is 173. Just showing that, okay? So what I wanted to talk about, hold on real quick, was that consolidating right here above your 1618 like this. It's really, really bullish and almost always is a determinant factor in a move that moves all the way up to the 2618. Now I want to take this move, this 2618 move, which again, if I knew nothing about this chart right now, okay, now I was just looking at this chart randomly, I had these fibs on here, I would make a safe assumption that we're going to the 2618 based off of the reaction, based off of the familiarity that we have with the 1618 here, with how we're acting with it. I have no doubt that we're going to this area. But again, we take this move and we kind of apply it to this. It's basically a replica of the move, not all the way from the low here. Not all the way from the low here, but when we broke out of this range, when we broke out of this range right here on this move, okay, from that low point there, that basically is your move, right there. So if we were to move here at 142K by the end of February, which is when I think this move is going to end, right, by the end of February, maybe middle of March, maybe early March, I do accept that this move might go until March because we've been consolidating for so long. The longer that we consolidate, the more these targets get pushed back. That's it, right? I had a guy, I'm gonna take a moment real quick and just shout out one of the haters. I don't even know what his name was, but I had a guy who was like, he just keeps pushing the dates back. He can't make up his mind. And I'm like, I've pushed up the dates back. I pushed the dates back one time. It was supposed to be end of January. Now it's end of February. And by the way, you should be able to push the dates back as much as you want without recourse, because if you're not willing to change your perception of the markets, you're going to be a bad trader. You're going to be a bad investor. You're not going to be able to fluctuate with the flow, man. So some guy was trying to give me crap about changing my time frame. It's like, dude, if you're a good trader, you change your time frame. A stubborn trader, a bad trader, does not change their time frame. They don't adjust with the information in front of them. But with what I'm seeing in this consolidation phase, and based off of the move that we're expecting, again, my expectation is I think it will be a similar move in the sense of timing. It'll take the same amount of time, but I think it'll actually be bigger. Okay, I think it will actually be a bigger move. And if it is a bigger move, likely we don't stop at 142K, but we go somewhere up. I would think, above that, which the next targets are 160 to 173, 174K. So I don't know. That's kind of my expectations by the end of February. Yeah. If we're not at 173K, that's fine. But something at least 142K, man. At least there, because then maybe I'm interpreting this wrong. If I put this at the actual low here, you do fall short of the 2618. Maybe a lot of people are going to call for us to stop at 133K, and instead we go all the way up another 10K higher than that, and we do at the end of February. We stop at 142, 143K. This video is not me saying I'm calling for 175K, right? That's not me saying that, but this is just the data. It's the next area to think about, right? If 142 is the area that a lot of people are putting in their minds right now, one of two things comes up in my head is that we're either going to fall short of it or we're going to blast through it, right? And if we fall short of it, I don't personally see that happening. That would mean that we stop at 123K by the end of February, which it's possible, but that'd be the bearish kind of situation. That would make us rethink some things for the later parts of this market. But if we are at this area by the end of February, I got to admit, I'd be very surprised, okay, personally. I would think that we go, I shouldn't say very surprised. That's not my expectation, just based off of the current outlook of the market now. If in the next 2 weeks everybody starts saying, oh, it's going to go to 200K, well, then likely maybe we do stop at 140K, right? But right now I feel like the accepted areas, people are starting to talk about 120, people are starting to talk about 150 and everything in between. So instead of hitting the expected area, I don't think we'd fall short. So the only likely thing to happen after that would be 175. I'm just saying, 173, 175K. I don't necessarily believe it, but that's what the data's going for. So that's my call, man. Anything from 142 to 173, 174K by the end of February. We're at 97K now, looking phenomenal, looking ferocious. Like we want more to the upside, like we want these bears to just keep getting left behind, man. If you're a bear, I want you to know I don't want you to get left behind. Just get in, man. If anybody's wondering right now, is it a good time to get in? Absolutely, it's a good time to get in. Here's one more thing, and I was going to leave this, I was going to save this for another video, but I do want to offer some perspective here, and I probably will just use this same little part in another video here, but I want to offer some perspective here. Okay, so we don't know where the Bitcoin bull cycle is going to end, right? We can assume where it's going to end, but we don't know where it's going to end. I think that the Bitcoin bull cycle is going to end at the 2272 here at about 462K to $500,000, maybe even just above that, right? All the way up there by the end of the year. So something like that, quite literally something like that, right? If it is all the way up here, let's just say it's at 470. Bitcoin each cycle has been seeing dramatically lesser and lesser drops, right? Things that are cycle after cycle, we're seeing significantly less drops. Okay, last cycle it was like a 78 or 74% drop. This cycle it might be a 70% drop overall. It might be a 64% drop overall, but a 70% or less drop is kind of what I'm expecting for Bitcoin by the bear cycle, right? So if we're at 462K, our bear cycle low will likely not even be as low as the prices that we're at now. The whole purpose of what I'm trying to say here is, yes, it's a good time to buy. It's a great next cycle. You're going to be a genius, brilliant Einstein for buying at prices that are higher than this, right? When you've done this whole thing and you take your time and you're finally down here. Wow, how did you know to buy Bitcoin at 130K? That was the market cycle bottom. You're so smart. Well, guess what? It's at 97K right now. Right, you're buying not at the market cycle bottom. It doesn't feel, you're buying it at the halfway point of this move overall. It doesn't feel glamorous to buy here, but guess what? In 4 years, it's pretty damn glamorous. In 10 years, this is desirable pricing, my friends. We're still below 100K. Get your money in the markets. I got nothing else to say for you. It's not financial advice, but damn it, man. If I was a financial advisor, I would have people pay me to tell them to get into Bitcoin. That's what I would have people pay me to do. But I don't have people pay me to do anything, so it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe, blah, 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 bye. Bye.